Hello. So, welcome to my big experiment. This is an experiment on many fronts. I'm going to do a project from start to finish. I'm going to record it, mostly for me, just for the fun of trying to record I guess a vlog, like a video diary of this project from start to finish. And maybe I'll put it on YouTube, maybe I won't. We'll see. Anyway, if I do decide to put it on YouTube, or if anybody does that apart from me gets to see this, please forgive the total 100% amateurism that you're going to see here. I don't know what I'm doing, both from a project point of view as well as it is particularly the recording point of view. So bear with me and please forgive me. Hopefully along the way I'll record for posterity my problems, and they're going to be problems. There are going to be a lot of problems, and things are going to go wrong. This project is not going to end up the way I envisaged it at the beginning. I'm going to have to pivot, as I like to call it, which basically means when I screw up, I have to fix it. But also I'll probably have some other ideas along the way, what I would like to think are improvements, but may not be. And this may end in total failure. We will see. So what's the story? The story is that I'm here in my garage, which is probably amongst one of the tiniest workshops in the world. It's cobbled together with bits and bobs and odds and sods. The only thing I can honestly say is that I've thrown a crap ton of money at Festool tools because I just love Festool. They're totally too good for me, but they do help me look better than I really am. And I've become a bit of a Festool fanboy, but I do think they're worth it. Anyway, this is not about Festool. This is about me and my project and in my garage. The smallest, cramped, skintest workshop in Christendom. But actually it's in Warsaw, Poland. So what's the background? The background is this. Number one, a few months ago I did a project. It was my first ever paid project. Somebody insisted on paying me. And maybe I'll come back to that later on. But as part of that project, I had to buy some wood. So I calculated the wood. I got my calculator and pencil and paper, and I measured things up, and I drew out the design, calculated everything perfectly. Went to the lumber yard, bought my wood, which was surprisingly expensive. And when I was packing it in my car, I was surprised just how much there was. Got it back home, unloaded it into the garage, this huge pile of lumber, and of course what it turned out is that I made a total miscalculation, and I forgot to divide the number of pieces that I thought I needed by 3, because I could get 3 parts out of each length of lumber, so I ended up with 3 times the amount of lumber I actually needed. And let me even just show you this. There's a lot of it all stacked up underneath my bench. Hopefully you could see that. So that's the beginning of the story. I've got a crap ton of cheap construction, I think it's called construction lumber. It's very poor quality. It's some super soft pine. When you sand it, you just basically get icing powder. It's really, really poor quality. Most of it is straight though, so I guess that's good. So that's number one. I have to do something with this wood. I really didn't know what to do, but then I had an idea. And this is the second and most important part of the idea, the whole story, is that I want to make something for my wife. I have the best wife in the world, quite honestly. She puts up with me 41 years in a couple of days. 41 years. And we've been together for 3 years more than that. So we were approaching half a century together. And I still love her dearly. And I want to do something nice for her. What is it going to be? My idea is that we bought her an armchair. She saw this armchair, she tried it out somewhere, she fell in love with it, so we bought one. And she absolutely adores her armchair. It sits by the patio window. She sits there reading her books on her iPhone. She sits there with our granddaughter reading her stories. It's her little corner in the world, and it's lovely. And she likes to drink a cup of tea there, but she's got nowhere to put her tea. So I thought, I'm going to make a little side table for her where she can put her tea. So that's what I want to do. Sorry for the long introduction. So let's get, as the people on YouTube say, let's get into it. So let's start with the materials that I'm working with, because at the end of the day, that was the thing that really informed the design of my project, what I actually want to make. So the pieces of wood that I had to buy to make my paid-for project were lengths of wood like this. This has been now milled down to 40 by 27, 28 millimeters. They were a bit wider, but they had rounded edges, and so I had to get rid of the rounded edges. So I ran all of them through my table saw, cutting off the two rounded off edges, and I ended up with 1 million. These are just the short ones, but 1 million pieces of edging like this. Flexible, thin strips, 18 millimeters thick. So I had some thicker ones here. These are from the 20 millimeter thick boards. And I hate throwing things away, especially wood. But I don't throw anything away. Maybe I'll take you through my workshop one day, and you'll see just what an accumulation of. I'm a tool hoarder. I'm an everything hoarder. Anyway, to get back to the point, so I have a lot of these strips that I didn't want to throw away, and I actually used some of them as edge banding on some shelves I made for our pantry. I made that out of MDF, and I just put these strips on the front to give it a nice look. And so I'm glad I didn't throw them away. They are going to come in useful. Also, I'd seen on the internet somewhere, on YouTube, obviously I spend a lot of time on YouTube, steam bending and taking slats and steam bending them into various interesting shapes. And it's something I always wanted to try. And I started thinking about, I could use these strips somehow to make a leg for the table, and then put a base for it to stand in, and a top for the tea to stand on. But the sort of like the artsy-fartsy, the design part of it could be based on strips. So that's where I went into this. I got a load of leftover material. Shame to throw it away, not going to throw it away. They're strips. I want to try steam bending, although I don't think I'm going to do steam bending this time, but I'm going to take the strip motif and try and work with that. Now, in a second, I'll just show you what the beginnings of the design that I've come up with. So this is what I'm thinking of. Obviously, I've got my slats, but what I want to do is I want to sort of make like a bunch of slatty flowers. I don't know why I just thought of that, but if I take my slats, and I think it's probably going to be 5, like this. Well, you get the idea. 5 slats. Terrible at drawing. They will all be fixed together, probably glued, we'll see, but fixed at the bottom, and then come up, and I want them to bend out. In an ideal world, I would steam bend them to shape, but as I said, I don't see that happening this time. So what I'm thinking is probably some kind of blocks in between them at some point, whether it be lower down, higher up, I don't know, but to hold them in place. Then a base at the bottom. So what I'm imagining is something, I'm thinking a round base, have to be quite heavy. Then my fountain of joy coming up like this, and that will be coming into a smaller circle at the top, probably with some kind of a routed pocket in the middle, either just for a cup or for a larger one, just to keep things stable, rather something running off. It doesn't have to be big. It needs to hold a cup of tea, an iPhone, and glasses. Eyeglasses, not tea glasses. In Poland, you drink tea in glasses. So we have a tea glass, eyeglass, and phone glass, phone screen. So that's what I'm thinking of. The height is probably going to be around about 80 centimeters, I think, probably. That I have to measure that against the armchair. But that kind of height. What am I worried about? I'm worried about stability. I don't want it either to tip over, and I don't know how stable these slats are going to be. They could be either very wobbly or very firm. I don't know and also I don't know yet how I'm going to fix the top to the slats, because at the end of the day they will each have different angles. That's easy to solve. I can just cut them appropriately to get a flat edge, but nonetheless they're going to be thin slats, and somehow I have to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them attached to the top. I have a couple of ideas on that, but we'll see closer to the appropriate time. So what I want to do is I want to start with some kind of a proof of concept, and obviously the slats are the biggest variable in this. So what I have in fact done is already done a little proof of concept. Let me show you. So proof of concept. I've taken some of these strips that I already had from. Actually, I don't know why I had them. I think I just made them just to make them. These are 6 millimeters thick and almost 30 millimeters wide. And last night I glued them at the bottom. I was very smart and very dumb at the same time to sort of like manage the glue so that I didn't get glue coming onto higher than I wanted. I put blue tape around each strip to delineate or to set out the limits of where the glue would go. Glued it all together, put it in my vise overnight and let it dry. That was very clever of me with the tape, apart from one thing. Now I can't get the tape out from between the strips. So I'm glad I screwed up at this stage and not when I make the final fan. So learning. Don't glue your blue tape into an impossible position. But anyway, so that's what I ended up with. And it kind of works. Let me just put it in my vise. I don't actually know if you can see anything at the moment. Let me change the view a little bit. So if I put it in my vise at the same place where it would be, it's glued together. So that's sort of like, that's where we're at. And this is what I mean about blocks. I mean, these are not not blocks like this, obviously. Actually, I'm even thinking about having some specially made 3D printed kind of spaces. So they don't need to be big or sturdy. They just need to be able to resist the springiness. But that's, can you see that? Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm thinking of. Something like that. Like that. And obviously this will go into a base at the bottom. Something like that. Bigger, not a piece of... Whoa, okay. Into a base, and then on top something for to put the tea on. So I'm taking that as a win, but also a learning. These slats are, I think, too thick. I think they need to be thinner and a little bit more flexible, a little bit more willing to be put into different positions. And there's obviously going to be some kind of a a cliff over which if it goes too thin, I won't be able to bend them at all. They'll just snap. Right now, I think they're at the limit of thickness and they're just being a little bit too resistant. The upside is, of course, they've got more strength. So it's probably more stable. So what I am going to do in the next part of my video, and this is going to be it for today, is I'm going to cut up a load of strips on the table saw at various thicknesses, and I'm going to put together 3, 4, 5, I don't know, we'll see, different trial and error setups, just to see can I identify the ideal thickness for these slats. So thank you for your patience, and I'll see you and me later. It's me back again, quicker than I expected, like 5 seconds later. Just a quick passing thought. I think I am going to put this up on YouTube. Why? I'm an idealist in life, and I have learned so much from YouTube. There are a lot of influencers, and they try and sell you things. Power to them. I understand that, but there are also an awful lot of people like me who just do things for the fun of it. They put the videos up, and I have learned so much from those people. I learned from the more professional YouTubers, obviously, and there are some fantastic ones who I follow, and they're my gurus. But mostly I have an awful lot of sympathy for people, as I say, people like me, just the old school YouTubers, people just putting crap up on the internet because they can, because they want to, and sharing their experiences. And I think this is an opportunity for me to maybe give something back, but only if people watch it. And there's a thing called the YouTube algorithm. I don't know how it works, but everybody always says like and subscribe. And I guess that is because it gets their video out more and more. So if you think this is of any possible interest to you, and you would like to see how this project goes on, I will finish it. I promise to finish it. It's not going to take a week probably, but I will finish it, I promise. Please follow along, and to do that I think you should give this video a like and subscribe so that you get a notification that I've put the next one up. And perhaps more, it would be great if 100 people, let's be realistic, 50 people get to watch this and follow along with me, and maybe 1 or 2 of you will learn something from me that you didn't know. I hope so. Anyway, that's it. Enough preaching, as it were. Please like, subscribe, follow me along. Not because I want to earn any money, because I won't earn any money, but just to make this worthwhile, just so I know that somebody is watching. Ciao for now.